You probably think great wisdom means showing it off. But what if I told you the greatest Taoist masters did the exact opposite? They hid their brilliance. Sounds crazy, right? Yet behind this disguise lies a strategy of power and protection more relevant today than ever. I'm about to reveal why blending in might be the smartest move you make this year. We'll explore the ancient art of hiding your light, discover why water chooses the lowest places, and uncover practical ways to apply this timeless wisdom in our modern world of endless self-promotion. Ancient wisdom tells us of a master butcher who worked in the royal kitchen for 19 years, yet his knife remained as sharp as the day he first held it. When the king marveled at this impossibility, the butcher smiled and explained his secret. He never cut through bone or sinew, but found the natural spaces between them, allowing the blade to glide effortlessly through its work. This parable reveals something profound about true mastery. The butcher's skill was not in his strength or the sharpness of his blade, but in his ability to work with a natural order rather than against it. He understood that the greatest power lies not in force, but in finding the path of least resistance. His wisdom was invisible to those who watched him work, appearing almost ordinary, yet achieving extraordinary results. In our world obsessed with displaying expertise, we have forgotten this fundamental truth. We believe that wisdom must be loud, that mastery must be obvious, that brilliance must shine like a beacon for all to see. But the ancient masters knew better. They understood that true power is like the butcher's knife, working so smoothly through the natural gaps that its presence is barely noticed, yet its effectiveness is undeniable. The butcher's approach teaches us that the most profound skills often appear effortless, almost mundane to the untrained eye. His colleagues might have thought him unremarkable, never seeing the years of study that taught him to read the invisible architecture of his craft. This is the first lesson of the sage's disguise. True mastery whispers while ignorance shouts. The butcher protected his wisdom, not by hiding it away, but by making it appear so natural, so ordinary, that others failed to recognize its depth. When we flaunt our knowledge, we become like those who hack through bone with brute force, dulling our instruments and exhausting ourselves in the process. But when we learn to work like the master butcher, finding the natural flow and rhythm of our circumstances, we preserve our energy and maintain our edge indefinitely. This is why the ancient sages appeared ordinary. They had discovered that the greatest strength often wears the mask of simplicity. In today's digital age, we live in a culture that demands constant proof of our worth. Social media has become a stage where everyone performs their expertise, their success, their wisdom. We are told to build our personal brand, to showcase our achievements, to make ourselves visible in an increasingly crowded marketplace of attention. Yet this very pressure to prove ourselves has created a trap that the ancient sages would have recognized immediately. Consider how exhausting it has become to maintain this constant display of competence. Every day, we feel compelled to share our insights, post our achievements, and demonstrate our value to the world. We have confused visibility with validity, believing that if our wisdom is not seen and acknowledged, it somehow lacks worth. This is the modern equivalent of the dull knife, constantly grinding against resistance instead of finding the natural flow. The ancient masters understood something we have forgotten. When you constantly advertise your wisdom, you invite challenges, criticism, and the burden of living up to your own public image. You become a target for those who wish to test your knowledge, a trophy for those who seek to diminish your reputation. More importantly, you trap yourself in the exhausting cycle of having to prove, again and again, that you are who you claim to be. But there is a deeper problem with this approach. When we focus on displaying our wisdom rather than living it, we begin to lose touch with the wisdom itself. We become performers rather than practitioners, more concerned with how our knowledge appears to others than with how it serves our own growth and the genuine needs of those around us. The sage's disguise protects not just our reputation, but our authentic relationship with wisdom itself. The pressure to constantly prove ourselves also creates a peculiar form of spiritual materialism, where we collect insights and achievements like trophies, measuring our worth by external validation rather than internal peace. The ancient sages knew that true wisdom is like a deep well. Its value lies not in being seen from the surface, but in providing pure water to those who truly seek it. When we learn to hide our light, we protect both our energy and our authenticity from the corrosive effects of constant performance. Masters of the past teach that water is the perfect teacher of humility and power. Observe how water behaves in nature. It always seeks the lowest places, the spaces that others overlook or disdain. It flows around obstacles rather than confronting them directly. Yet over time, it carves the deepest canyons and shapes the mightiest mountains. Water never competes, never announces its presence with fanfare, yet nothing on earth can survive without it. This is the essence of the sage's disguise. Like water, the wise person chooses to occupy the humble positions, the overlooked spaces where they can work without interference or expectation. They understand that true influence flows not from the mountaintop, where everyone can see you, but from the valley, where you can nourish all life without drawing attention to yourself. Water teaches us that the most essential things often appear the most ordinary. In our competitive world, we have been taught to fight for the high ground, to claim the spotlight, to position ourselves above others. But water shows us a different path to power. By flowing to the lowest places, water ensures it will always be needed, always be valued, always be sought after. It never has to prove its worth, because its worth is self-evident in its service. This is why the ancient sages appeared ordinary. They had learned to be like water, essential, yet unassuming. Water also teaches us about the power of yielding. When you try to grasp water tightly, it slips through your fingers. When you try to strike it, your hand passes through without resistance, yet the water remains unchanged. This is the protection that comes from the sage's disguise. When you appear ordinary, when you do not present yourself as a target, criticism and attack find nothing solid to grasp. You become like water, present and powerful, yet impossible to diminish or destroy. The deepest lesson of water is that true strength lies not in hardness, but in adaptability. Water takes the shape of whatever contains it, yet it never loses its essential nature. Similarly, the sage learns to adapt to any situation, to appear ordinary in any context, while maintaining their inner wisdom and clarity. They understand that flexibility is not weakness, but the highest form of strength, allowing them to flow through life's challenges with grace and effectiveness. The wisdom of hiding your light is not about dimming your capabilities, but about choosing when and how to reveal them with intention and wisdom. Here are 3 practical ways to apply the sage's disguise in your modern life, protecting your energy while maximizing your genuine impact. First, practice the art of strategic invisibility in your professional life. Instead of constantly promoting your achievements, focus on consistently delivering exceptional work that speaks for itself. When you solve problems quietly, when you help others succeed without taking credit, when you contribute valuable insights without demanding recognition, you build a reputation based on substance rather than self-promotion. This approach protects you from the exhausting cycle of having to constantly prove your worth while creating genuine respect and trust among your colleagues. Second, cultivate the discipline of selective sharing. Not every insight needs to be posted. Not every achievement needs to be announced. Not every piece of wisdom needs to be displayed. Learn to distinguish between sharing that serves others and sharing that serves your ego. When you do share your knowledge, do it in response to genuine need rather than as a performance of your expertise. This practice helps you maintain a healthy relationship with your own wisdom, while ensuring that when you do speak, people listen with greater attention and respect. Third, embrace the power of questions over answers. The sage's disguise often involves appearing curious rather than knowledgeable, asking thoughtful questions that guide others to their own insights rather than providing ready-made solutions. This approach allows you to influence and help others without positioning yourself as superior or creating dependency. When you help people discover wisdom for themselves, you plant seeds that grow into lasting understanding, creating far more impact than any display of your own knowledge could achieve. Remember that hiding your light does not mean hiding your authentic self. It means being selective about when and how you shine, ensuring that your wisdom serves genuine purpose rather than feeding your ego or satisfying others' expectations. The goal is not to become invisible, but to become like water, essential and influential, while remaining humble and adaptable. The ancient sages who appeared ordinary were not diminishing themselves. They were protecting something precious. They understood that wisdom, like a flame in the wind, needs shelter to burn steadily and bright. By wearing the disguise of simplicity, they assured their light would continue to illuminate the path for those who truly sought guidance, while avoiding the storms that destroy those who shine too boldly in the wrong moments. In our age of constant performance and self-promotion, this ancient strategy offers us a path to both greater peace and deeper impact. When we stop trying to prove our worth to everyone, we can focus on providing genuine value to those who truly need it. When we cease the exhausting performance of expertise, we can return to the quiet joy of learning and growing. When we embrace the sage's disguise, we discover that true power lies not in being seen, but in seeing clearly. The master butcher's knife remained sharp because he worked with wisdom rather than force. Water shapes mountains because it flows with patience rather than pressure. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest influence you will ever have will come not from displaying your brilliance, but from the quiet moments when you choose to serve rather than shine, to listen rather than lecture, to be present rather than prominent. As you move through your days, consider this. What if your most ordinary moments are actually your most powerful? What if the wisdom you keep to yourself is more valuable than the knowledge you display? What if the path to true influence runs not through the spotlight, but through the gentle, persistent flow of authentic service? The sages knew that the deepest rivers run silent, and the strongest trees bend with the wind. In a world that rewards the loudest voice, perhaps the greatest rebellion is to whisper your wisdom and let your actions speak your truth. If this reflection resonated with you, follow the path of the Taoist diary for more journeys. Wisdom is in the walking,